Leaving the new Addington station, we're soon wending our way across the Canterbury Plains through Darfield towards the old staging post of Springfield on a lovely June day.
We'll be crossing a coal train here in the next few minutes. It's important that you remain on board, keeping the outside doors closed, thanks.
The mountains have received a nice coating of snow over the last few days, and looking down towards Mount Hutt, one can see the ski fields building up, ready for the hordes to arrive. Springfield had seen some frost, which was obviously more than some of the passengers had seen.
Cafe Canada has now reopened in Car H. Still have a good range of hot and cold drinks, confectionery, ice cream and souvenirs. We'll take on a consignment of freshly baked muffins from the Springfield Cafe. They're still basically warm from the oven. That's blueberry muffins. The aroma smells wonderful. I'll just hold the microphone open so you can catch the aroma. There you are. What do you think of that? Irresistible blueberry muffins, warm from the ovens at the Springfield Cafe. And they're available at the cafe counter while stocks last at $2.50 each.
Rolling on into the high country towards the headwaters of the Rakaia, the ground was obviously very white and frozen. In fact, we had to wait. Points were unfrozen for an upcoming coal train. There are 7 1,500-ton trains running 24/7 carrying coal across from Westport to Littleton.
And Lake Zero at the moment.
Ahead we could see the mists in the Rakaia Valley as we approached the headwaters. Pulling into Arthur's Pass, we were passing another coal train. On the left we could see the banking locomotives that had just pulled it through the Terra Tunnel. This is a 1 in 30 gradient, and they have 5 locomotives to drag the 1,500 tonnes up the 8 kilometres. A short stop at Arthur's for the tourists to get out. It's a marvel at the clean mountain air and at the highest point of the rail across the Alps from Christchurch to Greymouth. We look around and then through the tunnel to Otira. One of our hostesses described how Otira became a private town, and I'll leave her to continue the narration.
It's 90 acres of land here in the middle of the national park. They shifted down here and they set about on a bit of a campaign to get the population back up again. They've succeeded in doing this to around 58 people. They charge between $65 and $75 a week for rent, so pretty good returns for their initial $70,000 investment. They also offered $1 million for it, but they turned it down. Said that the lifestyle that they had.
There you have it, the $1 million lifestyle. Otira was the first time I ventured out onto the observation platform. As we travelled on down to the obvious west coast dairy countryside, so different from that which we have left on the other side of the Great Divide. Here we have the luscious, narrow and damp valleys of the west coast. As you can see, the stock are flourishing as we approach the watering hole of Jackson's, which we are told has been bought and renovated by businessmen outside of the district. In other words, rather like Southland, you could say. Approaching Lake Brunner, the ground becomes even more wet along the railway line as we rather more slowly towards the township of Moana. Moana, of course, used to be the holiday resort of the northern end of the west coast. Nowadays, I believe you need to be rather heavily endowed with cash in order to have a home in this area. You can tell from the change in the sound of the wheels on the tracks that the ground beneath the rail has changed to its nature. Probably the abundant water is soaking up the sounds. Eventually we pulled into still water where we had a wait. Assumedly it was for switching from the Reefton line.
Right, the train station is on the main street of Greymouth. If you just continue to walk forward, you'll be amongst all the cafes, restaurants, shopping, etc. We will be departing Greymouth on our journey back into Christchurch at 2 p.m. For those people that are on a day excursion, we ask you to be back around 5 or 10 minutes prior to this, please. Make sure you're seated, ready to depart at 2 p.m. If you have already had your return journey seats allocated, you do not have to worry about checking in here in Greymouth. You just need to pop back into the seats that you've been allocated. But if you have not had your return journey seats allocated, you will need to check in. The desk on the right hand side, the ladies there will give you your return allocation. But once again, we are departing the station at 2 p.m, so it's important that you're back within 5 or 10 minutes of that time.
Now we're travelling down the Grey River, past the site of the Brunner mine disaster on our right, and through the gorge into Greymouth itself. Fortunately, we have just on an hour to have a lunch, and they're just very close to the railway station. We bought ourselves a low-fat diet from the local Subway. Just time to enjoy that and trot back to the station, ready to embark on our return journey across the hill. Altogether, very pleasant trip, to be recommended, but on a bang for the buck basis could not really be compared with the Tyree Gorge.